The Swiss military-industrial complex is very big, very powerful and very dangerous, with the fingers stretching into politics and giving orders to the worldwide octagon police inside and outside Switzerland. And this is why all French policemen carry Swiss Sig Sauer guns, while in fact France itself makes excellent guns like FAMAS, Manurin, Unique and some other French brands. This here is the submachine gun of the future, with 50% less recoil and 90% less muzzle climb, because of the bolt action going down instead of backwards. It shows an incredible high rate of 1545 ACP. This gun is being produced in the US under US patents. So Americans think it's US homemade and will buy it much quicker for that huge American gun market. But it belongs in fact to the Swiss military industrial complex with that Chris company based in Nyon, Switzerland, and belongs to Gamma Research Technologies. And the so-called US patents stand on the names of 3 Swiss nationals. So this is why the Chris Vector Super V has the octagon stampless V stamped on the weapon. This is Octagon's gun of the future with a V on it. Here on YouTube with the Swiss cross, and it's called the username Chris Group, as you can see. Yeah. And in the about the user, they call themselves a defense conglomerate. Well, how true? Based in Switzerland. Well, there you go. And they sell it under www.chrisusa.com. And to produce the weapon in the USA, it's cheaper than in Switzerland. It's a bigger market, and there are no export conditions like in Europe. So it is indeed a conglomerate from Octagon. 1/3 of all American policemen carry Swiss Sig Sauer guns, while the US in fact make excellent guns themselves. So here you can see it. According to Sig Sauer, 1/3 of US police use Sig firearms. That's amazing. That's, you know. So this is in Wikipedia. It's probably elsewhere as well. Sig Sauer Wikipedia. And so the young Americans being shot in Ferguson, they were most probably shot with Swiss murder weapons. And so any of the Americans getting shot by the police, and it's a couple of hundred every year, 1/3, you know, are being shot by with Swiss murder weapons. So that's hundreds of them are being killed by Octagon, Switzerland. Well, I mean, the police is Octagon anyway. So you can read the whole thing. Well, it says Germany founded, but it is Swiss actually. It says the parent Swiss Arms. It is a conglomerate really, and they just want war in the world for their Swiss banks. Yeah, the M11 pistol, the US military, etc. And here it says on Wikipedia the TDI Vector. Here it says in Nyon, Switzerland. The origin is not Washington DC, it's from Nyon. The country of origin is Switzerland. I'll put in the links for you can read it all yourself. Sig Sauer uses the same sly infiltration techniques as the Swiss banks do with their fancy parties for the rich to trap them into business. Therefore they have a thing simply called the Academy. A real Octagon conspiracy tied in with big money, politics and Octagon's military-industrial complex. They bribe, use nepotism, serve cocaine and prostitutes. Everything goes really, as in the case for all Swiss companies, and I've spoken to insiders personally in Switzerland who admitted this, as with a person from Swiss Frei Chocolate, who is now the manager for North America and living inside the US. Yeah, you can even read it here, even American policemen here from St. Louis, well, isn't that in Missouri, in Ferguson, who are talking about the corruption of the Swiss Academy and the Swiss Sig Sauer. They see it's something going on there. You know? Sig Sauer in bed with the Academy. Well, they are the Academy. So I'll put in the link for you. And here you can see, well, this is the P228. It's not only the Navy SEALs using Sig Sauer, but it's also the Army. So, what's happening to America, hey? You're being sold out. And it said in Wikipedia that Sig Sauer is the biggest gun factory, you know, with the biggest growth inside the US, with a 50% growth. In the newspaper, they only talk about China, you know, doing all the production for the United States, but here it is, Switzerland. And here it says, they call it the tools of the trade. Well, isn't that nice? What kind of a trade? A death trade, a death cult, isn't it? The St. Louis County Police, their primary duty gun is the Sig P229. Sig Sauer, here it says, a Swiss gun. And also for the, it's also being used for the St. Louis SWAT, as the whole article is about here, I think. Yeah, this is in Tactical Life. And it's all over, you can read it everywhere, you know. There's a Swiss gun here. So those young Afro-Americans in Ferguson, well, they were killed with Swiss guns. It says St. Louis County. They use Swiss guns to kill Americans. So how is this possible? You're being sold out to the enemy within. I mean, it's Octagon, it's the Templars, and they use the guns from the motherland. They don't even want to use American guns because they're not American. See, that's why they kill Americans. Yeah, tools of the trade, it says, and they're using Sig Sauer, yeah, Sig Sauer guns. Fantastic, isn't it? Well, this is Octagon. And they use the tools of the trade, as they call it. You have Navy SEALs. Oh, it's underneath. Sorry. It says here, Navy SEALs, Federal Air Marshals, Department of Homeland Security, as I told you. It's all Sig Sauer, it's all Swiss. This is Octagon. And they're in the government, they're all over everywhere. Yeah, the Swiss Army Standard. Schweizerische Industriegesellschaft. Swiss Industrial Company. Here it says, the Swiss Military Industrial Complex. As I told you. Even the DA, the FBI, the French GIUREH and many others use Swiss Sig 550 assault rifles for Octagon and from Octagon, while France or the US produce excellent, if not better, assault rifles. So why do you think this is? Well, I already told you in my video Octagon, the Empire of Darkness, how the world's blue army, also called police, is a worldwide army consisting of Nazi Templars from Octagon, the motherland. So of course they're proud to carry the weapons from the motherland. Why else do you think this police monster kills so many Americans? You think they would do so if they were real Americans themselves? No, I don't think so, eh? So here you can see, here it says Swiss Arms AG from Switzerland. Assault rifle, not bad for a neutral country, eh? So here you can see how many bullets you got in your mag. Think of everything, like with the telescopic sight. The grenade launcher on it. Why isn't that charming? A small version. Put it under your jacket. Nice for terrorists. Well, the terrorists are called police anyway. So even Germany, you look at in Germany, the GSG 9 and Spezialeinsatzkommando. They still call it Einsatzgruppen, like in the Second World War. And all over the world, even of course the Vatican has them. Yeah, what's the Pope doing with an assault rifle? We're going to ask ourselves that, eh? Yeah, the Drug Enforcement Administration, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, where this Swiss Gay Edgar, he was the director for 50 years. And well, here France. That's France, the French Army, the National Gendarmerie Intervention Group, etc., etc. Not bad for a neutral country. You know. Everybody has a neutral gun. Some more Swiss goodies of Sig Sauer. It says Switzerland, sniper rifle. It uses NATO ammunition, so Switzerland is not in NATO, but well, why not use NATO ammunition? I mean, thus you can produce for the NATO and make some good business, like the RUAC is doing. Yeah, they call it Krieg Commando, the Swiss Sieg sniper. And Krieg, it means war. Sig Sauer arms from Switzerland. Counter-terrorists. Well, the terrorists, the police terrorists, they need counter-terrorism. No, I don't understand that. Anybody does? So, this is Swiss precision of a neutral country. To kill people. And here's some Sig Sauer Swiss guns used by the UK, as you can see here. The P226 and 228, 229. Just as the Americans are, they're called the L10 and the L11, 7A1. Oh, what a name. So this is for the United Kingdom Special Forces, Royal Military Police, Close Protection, United Kingdom Special Forces, all branches. Oh. Switzerland, a neutral country, eh? So with this they kill Muslims and other people, and oh, nice. There is indeed a worldwide conspiracy against mankind, and it carries Swiss weapons. That utopia in the Alps, founded by the Templars, and where the world's financial elite hides its money, and where every dictator and drugs dealer brings his crime money. Just watch how Larry Silverstein insured the World Trade Center short before 9/11. Yes, in Switzerland at the Swiss Re, or reinsurance company, the Schweizerische Rückversicherungsgesellschaft from Zurich. And I told you, the Templars, they founded the Swiss banks with the Templars' treasure. And what do we see here? The Templars V all over, upside down and like a V. Just as we can see on all the tanks now in the Middle East and all over. So if you have any doubts, well, there's a lot of V's here as well, in fact, and a lot of triangles here. This is pharaonic. It's Templar stuff. And in both 007 Octopussy and Ocean's 12, they show the Swiss Re. And the guy lives in Switzerland, and he played Simon Templar in The Saint. And even 007, it's always about Switzerland. And with this, the Prince of Darkness, I showed you in one of the other films. So here's your Swiss Re. It's all occult. And it's Swiss. It's Templar stuff. So here it is. This is from Wikipedia. Here it says, Swiss Re was the lead insurer of the World Trade Center during the September 11 attacks, which led to an insurance dispute with the owner, Silverstein Properties. And a reinsurance is an insurance bought by another insurance company. These are usually very big insurance companies who can afford to pay billions like only the Swiss can, profitably backed up by Nazi gold in collaboration with the Swiss Nazi banks. So per definition, a reinsurance company like Swiss Re is typical octagon by the Nazi Templars. And I just show you this, the V symbols. It's all there. And here it says Zurich, Switzerland. It's a reinsurance company based in Zurich, Switzerland, from 1863, founded in 1863. Well, the name says it, Swiss Re. And this is their logo, 1, 2, 3 for Isis, Horus and Seth. If there's 3, it's always Isis, Horus and Seth. I don't know what... Well, if I think about this one, I'll find it. So I put in the link for you, Wikipedia. They're always in it, everywhere. There's somewhere they're in it. They're the only ones who can organize this big against humanity. No one else can. Watch how trails of John Kennedy's murder lead to Swiss Pyramidindex of Basel, where the Bank of International Settlements is. And if I translate the word, or immediately the part per, where the word pharaoh is from, and it means the house, immediately it's caught my eye. So if I take this apart, it says per, the house, the royal house, the mind, a pharaonic mind, and ex, meaning out of. So Pyramidindex, it means out of a pharaonic mind. It says it belonged to the front organization for the Central Intelligence Agency, and well, Gay Edgar, the head of the FBI, he had to do with the he was the head of the FBI when Kennedy was killed. It's all octagon. It's Switzerland everywhere. And always, they got their dirty little fingers in it somehow and somewhere. I put it in the link for you. So this was sent to me by some very good persons who watch my videos about Pyramidindex, about the Swiss Re, and about The Voice, which is coming up now. You'll be surprised. So let's have a look if you all recognize the voice of this guy here with the Swiss cross on his chest. And a very good person sent it to me. I told you the Ku Klux Klan, it is Swiss, and this guy here is most probably a descendant of Swiss Phileas Walder, the guy who gave Albert Pike all the orders.
They were brought here as slaves. God, nigger, the Klan is getting bigger. I want to see a Swiss system.
And the guy, he's selling his little bottles with the same Swiss cross on it, the Ku Klux Klan cross. Yeah, super male vitality with the Ku Klux Klan Swiss cross on it of the Templars. So super male. This makes you a super male, like a super male Templar or what? So the voice you just heard is most likely a descendant of Phileas Walder from Switzerland, who founded the Swiss Ku Klux Klan. See my video about it. And gave all the orders to Albert Pike, working on World War III against the Muslims, and this fear-mongering against Islamic State is exactly what Jonesy does with his Swiss cross all over. And it's very interesting that already Albert Pike, in this letter, he makes a difference between political and religious Zionism. So he's only against political Zionism, which is actually secular, and it just says, well, now we have to think of ourselves and defend ourselves, whereas the religious Zionism is a word by this thing called God, who foretold and promised that he will bring the Jews all together in Jerusalem, in Zion. So there are two quite different things, and this guy already makes a difference between both of them. It's a very important part, that Albert Pike, he is only against the political Zionism and not the religious Zionism. Very important. Just watch the front lines here of the Western Front during World War I. It goes all the way from the North Sea to, yes, Switzerland. While 1 million people died during the Battle of the Somme and were sent to a certain death as cannon fodder for the Horus Matrix, well, don't you think it would have been less costly on human resources to just make a little detour through Switzerland and attack the enemy in the back than having 9 million soldiers and 7 million civilians die over the same, not changing front line during 4 long bloody years? But on both sides, both German and Allied, just a few generals wanted European men just to die in the Horus Matrix by Octagon and the Pharaohs. Why? Well, right after World War I came the gay 20s in the original sense of the word, before those other ones kidnapped our word. And in these roaring 20s, dancing the Charleston, women were loosened up to be preyed upon by the fair aristocracy with all those Europeans dead, just as the sexual revolution of the 60s, right after World War II, with all those men dead. And this is how European women celebrated the death of their men, with 9 million European men dead immediately after the war. And this is what a war is about. You kill the man, take their women, the land and the cattle. Only Pharaoh takes the key positions and then have the men kill each other before grabbing the winner's prize. Stupid humanity. If 9 million soldiers were going to die anyway, they could have just battled only a few hundred generals. But maybe this here is the general, ISIS. But nobody wants to make the first sacrifice. Everyone, single selfish person, just thinks of himself. And this is why stupid mankind and a vast majority has lost the battle against that minority of the enemy within. Stupid, selfish mankind. And in fact the 20s, as you can see here, it was very, very pharaonic, Egyptian based, the clothing and everything. And this was also the time they all went to Egypt, you know, like Carter, and do some digging. The ISIS look of the Roaring Twenties. And because of ISIS and the pharaohs, just right after World War I and World War II, the 60s and the Roaring Twenties, now they want to kill the patriarchy. ISIS wants to kill the patriarchy with those ISIS, you know, the ISIS Islamists. It's all the same thing, really. The Battle of the Somme started on July 1st, 1916. A battle between the German Empire and the British Empire, with Australian, Canadian, Indian, New Zealand and South African troops, who lost 60,000 men on that very first day of the Battle of July 1st, which is still called the worst day of the British Army. And at the same time, also in 1916, also costing 1 million lives, the Battle of Verdun took place, just a little bit more to the east, between the French and the Germans. So 2 million European men just died in a few months' time, who were meant to die by the fair aristocracy and Octagon, the military wing. And right after, all the women, just a month after, they started to dance and be happy and undress. So here's once more the Western Front. Here's the sea. Well, you couldn't pass here. So in only 2 or 3 months, 2 million men died here. Here Verdun, here the Somme, just right next to each other actually. And here's Switzerland. So why couldn't 2 million men just make a little detour here? And not even the Germans did it, and not the French, not the English, not the Americans. And why is this little country here? You know, you could just squeeze through, you know. It was all meant to be. If this little country of nothing, like, could stop millions of men, I mean, they must have something to do with it, you know. It's the brain here. This little country, you know, and at the time it was only 4 million people. I think they had a couple of 100,000 soldiers, that's all, nothing more. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, this is, it's all a lie. Yeah, and the generals knew, that's Octagon. Just look how Hitler resembles the other fellow here. And both Kaiser Wilhelm and Hitler visited the Swiss Ulrich Wille family just before the outbreak of both world wars. And the Ulrich family in Switzerland, they are married into the von Bismarck family. It's all the aristocracy. And both this guy here visited Ulrich Wille Jr. in 1923 and afterwards, and he got financed by them, and this one here too, just before the outbreak of the First World War, he visited the Ulrich Wille family and Ulrich Wille Senior next to Zurich. And look at the ears. I mean, this is same family. These ears and these, they're the same. It's the same descendants, and it's all connected to Switzerland. And here again, during World War II, the Swiss military industrial complex was all geared up to the German command, with the Swiss railroads forced into service of the German war economy, with Switzerland providing raw materials as an intermediary for Nazi gold and looted goods, thus Switzerland prolonging World War II with at least 2 years, through Swiss companies of the Swiss military industrial complex as Bürle Oerlikon and many others. And you can read the whole story, put in the links for you. Just punch pause. This is an official US report from that time, and it says the Swiss military industrial complex, they were almost totally geared up to the German demand. And it says also somewhere how they prolonged the World War with at least 2 years. We're living the same era now as just before the war here in Switzerland. It's very bad. Where today's names are Ruag, Swiss P, Emotec, Pilatus, Brugger und Tomet, Sieg Sauer, Chris, etc. Same old story, repeating again. And nobody does anything. Put in the links for you. And now, Octagon, gearing up for war is a very bad omen indeed. The Swiss Octagon has their dirty little fingers in all crimes against humanity.
I want to see a Swiss system.
They were brought here as slaves. God, nigger, the clan is getting bigger. What?
And a good person just sent me this. This is it's an old painting from 1566 from Switzerland, and it says here, an armada of metallic and black spheres invaded Basel, Switzerland. Basel, where the Swiss Bank of International Settlements is, everything. I saw it before once. And, well, I don't know what they are. But they're not normal people. They're cold. They don't seem to have any normal emotions of human compassion or anything else. While at the same time they're like playing and pretending, you know, to have all the NGOs here, like the Red Cross, well, who do absolutely nothing really. There were concentration camps in Switzerland with Americans in it. They didn't do anything. In my case, people being tortured here in Switzerland, they don't do anything. In Auschwitz, they said, well, the Red Cross said, well, everything is okay, having a good time. So this is the video here, on this channel here. And it's on 25 minutes and 18 seconds, you can see it here. And here it is again on Google Images. If you just punch the links in Google Images, it pops out. Look, it looks like there's all like Swiss crosses falling from the sky. Yeah. And well, I mean, I've never seen such cold people. You know, they don't seem to have any human values. You know, of humanity or humanitarian, or it's all about money. It's cold and calculations. They want to rule the world, and they do. And here's some more about what happened in Basel just at the end of the Middle Ages. And it was also in Basel, Switzerland, where they kidnapped my child 12 years ago. I never saw him again. I don't know if he's alive, no idea. That's Switzerland. It has been announced in the international newspapers that Muslims are being killed, and soon even more will be killed with Swiss weapons, as the German army is going to supply the Kurdish Peshmerga in Iraq with Swiss weapons and Swiss precision ammo. Because the German army uses Swiss high-precision ammunition from Octagon, Switzerland, whose Ruag, R-U-A-G, state-run armament manufacturer has the largest financial turnover of the entire European world of ammunition dealers, and is the world's 5th largest small arms producer, like handguns, assault rifles and sniper guns. Not bad for a so-called neutral country, eh? Well, Swissy's neutrality swindle knows very well that this way dirty businesses can be done with all parties and not just one side of the conflict, just as Swissy's arms are sold to Wahhabi Saudi Arabia and Wahhabi Qatar, who gave them to all sorts of wannabe jihadi military groups as ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Al-Shabaab, the Taliban, or you name it. So it was today. You can read it. Today. That's September the 7th, 2014, or was yesterday. And there you can read it. This company here in Switzerland is the biggest ammunition producer of the entire Europe. That's RUAC Amotech. This is Nazi Templar stuff, folks. This is Octagon. They're the biggest in Europe. This small country, they've got the biggest ammunition manufacturer. You read it, and there's a lot more interesting things here in it. I mean, this is Octagon. The Swiss are a bunch of very organized criminals with a country. And here you can read it. That it says, yeah. The Swiss-German RUAC group is definitely Europe's biggest provider of military and law enforcement ammunition and the global top player in the field. Basically, no competitor has the skills and the manufacturing capabilities to cover the range of military and police application that the RUAC products do, while at the same time offering other typically military-oriented products from hand grenades to mortar and artillery shells, well, etc., etc. They are the top providers of sniping. You read the whole article. This is Octagon. Not bad for a neutral country, eh? Not bad at all. Well, it's just sly for it's for business. You say you're neutral, you know, so they can provide both sides with goodies. And Swiss hand grenades are being used by the jihadists to kill Syrians and Shia Muslims. Swiss MOVAC armored vehicles are being used in Saudi Arabia to crush protest marches under those Swiss wheels. Swiss Pilatus airplanes get used for genocides as in Darfur. Swiss sniper rifles kill protesters at Maidan Square in the Ukraine, as you can see here. And Swiss precision sniper ammo sold to the Wahhabi Emirates found their way into the hands of Iraqi insurgents and the Taliban, killing and maiming and wounding many GI US soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan, exterminated with Swiss precision. And I'll bet you that these sniper rifles here used in Ferguson, Missouri, that they were holding Swiss precision sniper bullets in the chamber looking down the barrel at unarmed US civilians. Yes, Swiss RUAC armaments are even having factories in the US in Tampa, and they are the #1 in the world on sniper tools like Zeek guns and RUAC sniper ammo, even used by NATO special forces and worldwide Octagon police units and police anti, or should I say pro-terror squads, including the US of A. Well, you can see this is the American police. You know, they like these Swiss ammunition. There's a new ammunition company. They established a new company in Tampa. You know, Swiss precision. That's what I like. And I told you, Octagon, they have a 5th column all over the world. I mean, how could it be that the US cowboy state, you know, if I could say this, that they have you know, the #1 handgun state of the world, that they're not even using American cartridges, you know. Can't they manufacture them themselves, you know? It says in Tampa, Florida, RUAC Amotech USA Incorporated is located. They even got a factory there. You know, they're everywhere. This is octagon. It's part of a fifth column of Swiss sleeper agents all over. Otherwise, the American police, which is not really American, it's octagon, they would not use a foreign ammunition. The Americans are quite capable to make the ammunition themselves, eh? So you see, the Swiss don't wage war, but their Swiss weapons do. Apart from the worldwide operating Swiss octagon assassination units as the SS Einsatzgruppen by the Swiss Colonel Karl Jäger and the Jäger Report, and even today in and outside Switzerland, mostly hiding in disguise, are fifth column sleeper cells of the Swiss Nazi Templars. And in the next, one of the next well, you'll see. So this is one of the world's, or maybe for some areas, the biggest manufacturer of ammunition. And this is not a peaceful people. Why would a so-called neutral, peaceful people make all these weapons and so they can kill people? I think this gun was used in Maidan place. You see this little spare part underneath? This is, I think it's a, well, I don't know. But this is, it looks like the gun they used in Maidan to kill Ukrainians. Well, since 1863, well, it's old, I mean, and they got, you know, factories in the USA, in Germany, Sweden, Hungary, even in Malaysia. They're all over. Well, this is the real Switzerland, and they're not neutral at all, and they have never been neutral. They never were. It says Switzerland's army doesn't go to war, but its military equipment does. In 2011, Saudi Arabia and Swiss Piranha tanks to crack down on protests in Bahrain. Libyan rebels used Swiss ammunition against Muammar Gaddafi's troops, and Syrian rebels have been throwing Swiss hand grenades against President Bashar al-Assad soldiers. Swiss sniper rifles were used against civilians on Kiev's Maidan Square. Many died in brutal police actions. Switzerland, a neutral country at the heart of Europe, known for an active war, etc. Yeah, well, you can read the whole thing here. And now they are going to export to the Kurds Swiss ammunition through Germany. The Swiss always export their arms through another country, you know, to hide things, either through Germany, well, Germany has always been their base, or either through the United Arab Emirates and Qatar, where they shifted their banking, the weight of their banking business too. From 2008 on, they applied for a banking license for Qatar, and this is the same year when the IRS and the US Justice Department started to put pressure on the Swiss criminal Nazi banks. So it all fits together. You know, the Swiss, I told you, the Swiss banks, there's a reason that they went to Qatar. Well, the reason is coming out. You know, they're selling ammunition and guns to Qatar, and it's a Wahhabi state. You know, they want an Islamic state. So who's the first one who gets the ammunition and the high precision Swiss ammunition to kill US soldiers and Shia Muslims and etc. Well, I understand these guys, they want their own Islamic state, and I've got no problems with that. But the Swiss shouldn't get rich on it. And they shouldn't oppose, you know, like people, you know, peoples one against another. The Sunnis and the Shiites should just get together and you know, be Muslims like. But I guess the Templars in the Western world, they don't want peace amongst Muslims. They want to set them up one against another, you know, divide and rule, Shia against Sunnis. So it says this year on March 13, this is 2014, March 13, Switzerland has eased its restrictions on arms exports. And you can all see what happened. Maidan place in the Ukraine, now they're sending it to the Kurds, and they already exported ammunition and guns to Qatar. You can see the results. It's going very quick now. So Swiss weapons and Swiss high precision sniper ammo kill Muslims on both sides, both Shia and Sunni. And these Swiss SVP, Swiss People's Party, show how Mr. and Mrs. Swissy really feel about Muslims and Islam. And 80% of the Swiss population votes this SVP right extremist Nazi party, which actually is the biggest Nazi party in the world. Switzerland has the highest gun ownership per capita in the world, and they're into precision killing from a safe distance. And this is what the whole damn place is about: murder from a distance and delegate premeditated crimes against humanity from a safe distance from their octagon utopia in the Alps. And these are the kind of images and posters they show in Switzerland, in the streets. I mean, it's horrible, in the streets and in the media, newspapers, on television. Nobody does a thing against it. Really nobody. There's nobody who is. There's no Swiss who really is against it. Some of them, they do it pro forma, you know, as if there would be some Swiss who are like left wing and who are against it. So this is how the Swiss really think about Muslims. You see, you know, it's quite humiliating showing, you know, the black guy on the back of a Swiss and the Muslim girl on the back of a Swiss. It's very humiliating. It's bad. So this is how they really think about immigrants and Muslims. But I mean, selling a lot of guns and ammo, then they don't have any problems with it, selling it to the Muslims, to both parties. And probably their aim is, well, the Swiss aim is let's have the Muslims kill each other, so they won't come to Switzerland. So that's why they sell it to the jihadist guys through Qatar, Saudi Arabia and the United Emirates, and they also sell it to the other side, selling them now to Germany, and they come at the Kurdish side, so they can kill on the ISIS jihadist guys. So it's evil. This is plain evil. This is octagon behind it. You hear nothing else in Switzerland about how innovation brings them to the top, just as having a #1 market position on sniper ammo, zipping worldwide towards numerous premature death cases. Well, I know one of the 7 principles of success in the innovation: no conscience. And every neighbour around me in the village has several guns and assault rifles in their homes, except me, the foreigner. And this video I'm making here is very dangerous and not allowed by the Swiss censorship laws of the Octagon dictatorship, giving facts about this super large Swiss RUAG gun dealer company standing above all laws, both internationally and domestically. Hey Swissy, how do you like me innovating the world with facts about what you've been hiding? And in fact, this Swiss innovation consists only on a strategical business level of creating a commercial monopoly on the market that nobody else has, through inventions by foreign workers in Switzerland, whose patents automatically belong to the Swiss multinational company. Well, let's be honest, next to slight banking, the Swiss never made any great inventions, nor any valuable contributions to mankind. Never. The Swiss neighbor was testing his machine gun just around the corner. Switzerland is in a tight grip of ultra-right-wing fascists, and nobody really cares about that in the entire fascist state in the Alps. And like Hitler's little helpers, the entire Swiss population seems to agree with total fascism. As on March 6, 2014, the all-powerful Swiss military-industrial complex had the restrictions eased on Swiss weapon exports. And we can see more and more people getting killed worldwide with Swiss high-precision weaponry all over. You can see the Swiss weaponry being used all over to kill innocent, unarmed people worldwide. Now, this was in the Ukraine. The entire country is all about fascism, corruption, lies and nepotism in order to achieve big business at all cost. The Swiss military-industrial complex says, well, wait, I know some SVP People's Party guys in Parliament who stand on our side, which is nationalism, guns and money. The main things Nazism has always been about, really. Therefore, hundreds of unarmed Ukrainian civilians had to die, get maimed or wounded at Maidan Square in 2014 because of these Swiss Nazi money-making hillbillies, or short, just Swiss billies. Well, these people are dead due to Swiss arms. Yes, it has come out that Swiss high-precision NATO Cal 308 sniper rifles by the Swiss weapons manufacturer Brugger und Tommet, jawohl, of the canton of Bern were used to murder unarmed civilians standing up for their freedom and against tyranny. Well, here's the famous Swiss Maidan gun. Here it is. You can read it all here. Oh, what a neutral country, eh? Look, you can see the Ukraine. They make the guns under license. You know, they're now being manufactured, you know, to kill Russians. And remember how I've shown you the dictator's Yanukovych Swiss chalet built by Swiss carpenters and full of occult pharaonic symbols from the motherland in the Alps. And how there's a very large Swiss fifth column that emigrated to Bessarabia in the Ukraine, like Octagon, going for all key positions as the Berkut Killer Cops or Berkut, the Killer Cops units, a name having the same sound as Bern, Berkut, Bern, B-E-R, from the canton of the Bear and Blackwater Bear Claw. The very same canton where the sniper rifles came from. And there's talk that neo-Nazis also participated in the snipings at the Maidan place with those Swiss high-precision rifles, and that Gladio was involved. Well, let me tell you that Gladio is and has always been one of Octagon's branches of this secretive Swiss conglomerate, and neo-Nazism is just the very thing Swissy enjoys most. You read the whole article. Just punch pause. This is a fifth column in the Ukraine. Put your hand up. Well, there it is. Neo-Nazi. They're secretive as Switzerland. Many Swiss emigrated to the Ukraine, to Bessarabia, and they have chosen Swiss arms. So what do you think they are? You really think they're not Swiss? You can read the whole article. There you go. And in order to maintain the Swiss neutrality swindle, before this year's new laws, Swissy just bypassed laws by having Swissy's guns manufactured under license, like in the Ukraine and many other places, who produce now many of them the weapons to kill and murder Russians in the Donetsk area, the province. So this new law was just a technicality really, but effectively showing that severe times are coming ahead. So here you can read the whole article. Critics outrage over easings of arms exports. Why not in Switzerland? And if they do pretend to be outraged, it's just theatre really. It's just acting. Because they want to be known for being neutral, you see. They all agree. These are Hitler's little helpers, you know, or big helpers, I'd say. Business before ethics. Well, that's very true. It's just business as usual. This video is not so much about if or when Osama bin Laden died, because governments lie and hide everything. This video is about the Swiss involvement in his death, presuming the official version, and Swiss weaponry used. I can tell you though that Osama was part of the aristocracy, from an extremely wealthy family with close ties to the royal family of Saudi Arabia. And this is why everyone in Afghanistan and elsewhere nicknamed him the Prince or the Emir. And you can see it's all one family. These all pharaohs. Yeah, here are the Saudis here. There's some other pharaohs here. The big pharaoh here. It's all one family of pharaohs. And Osama, he didn't really like what he saw. So this is the true story of Osama. So then Osama, he knew about these things, and even worse. You know, here you can see this is the tip of the iceberg, what happened later on, holding hands, two pharaohs here, all of royal descent, and all related to the British royal house, etc. You know, they're all in bed together. And here you can see the arse of President Obama, another pharaoh, and you know, here are the other pharaohs. And yeah. So Osama didn't like it at all the lies, while the Afghani people were really suffering and still are. Of course this happened later on, but you know, he knew other things, yeah? And there's Bush holding an Arab sword, together with the Saudi royals of the Saudi king. And they even look alike. This is not the same identical man, but it's the same bloodline.